screen going here. Those of you that are online will now be able to watch it live. Okay, let me go ahead and I'm going to mute all the lines as we get started. Welcome everybody to the NTI Leadership Call. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful sunshiny Tuesday here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Those of you west of us that are getting the next polar vortex can keep it. You can keep it or send it north, either way. You do not need to send it to Knoxville, Tennessee, but it is gorgeous here today. A little chilly, but beautiful on this beautiful day. A little conference call etiquette. If you don't mind, please mute your phone line. If you are unmuted, or if you don't know if you are muted, please don't eat, use the bathroom, yell at the kids, answer the door, answer another call, or more importantly, talk bad about the call host. That would be wonderful. Thank you so kindly. Welcome to all the new meeting leaders on the line. So glad to have you joining us. And today you're in for a special treat, especially those of you that are new, because you're going to get to listen to Anna Alt, and she's got some amazing information, I think, from a meeting leader perspective that we're all going to get to hear today. I'm very excited about that. So as always, we talk a lot about servant leadership here. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say something to you guys today. I was on a phone call yesterday, and I was interviewing a guy who wants to come on and wants to start his own meeting location. And I was talking to him, and he just seemed to kind of want to be rushed, and he just kind of wanted to seem to rush right through everything. And I started talking to him about servant leadership, and the vibe that I got from this new prospective meeting leader was that he wasn't too terribly interested in servant leadership, that he just wanted to whimsically, half-heartedly kind of start his meeting. Yeah, I want to start one of these. And he was just kind of anxious to have the conversation about what it meant to get his meeting started, with very little conversation about what it meant to be a servant leader. But I believe, and I've grown convinced, that servant leadership is what makes all the difference in the world when you start having conversations about running a meeting, leading a meeting, and all of the things that come along with that. And so the Center for Servant Leadership, they have come out and they define what servant leadership means as a philosophy and a set of practices that enriches the lives of others around us. Ultimately, our Networking Today meetings. You can talk about a more just and caring world and all that, and that's good. I mean, I love that idea. But ideally, what we exist for and what we talk about is a set of practices that improves our meeting and our networking. And I just fell in love with what Mark Williams said 3 conference calls ago now, when he talked about when he finally had the epiphany, the moment when the light bulb came on, when 2 other networkers came together and embraced and hugged and hadn't seen each other in a while. And the reaction that it dawned on him that he was running his meeting for other people, not just himself. If you didn't hear that call or whatever, I've got a recording of it. Ask me for it, and I'll cut that clip out. Maybe, you know what? I might even put that clip on the Meeting Leader Resources page. I liked it that much. We've got a clip in there from Tara Peterson that was classic, 20 minutes of absolute jam-packed stuff. And we've got that clip from Mark that I absolutely loved. And so that's what we talked about on the call. And in our last call, we talked about being firm. We talked about, do your members know that you are a firm leader? Firm meaning, not soft or yielding when pressed. Are you resolved? We talked about all that the last call. I don't want to rehash that, but because I'm sure that all of you have listened to it who weren't able to make it on the last call. But today I want to talk about, this was amazing to me. Out of all of the times that we've talked about the principles, the set of practices for servant leadership, we've never talked about being a leader, at least that I could find. And so I wanted to ask today's question, do your members see you as a leader? Now, I went to dictionary.com, as I often do, and I really don't know if dictionary.com should be like the benchmark of definitions and, things like that I should go to, but it is the one that I go to most often. They defined leader as a guiding or directing head, as an army, a movement, or a political group? Now, of course, we're not really a political group per se. We're not really an army per se, but I would call us a movement. I've very frequently referred to what we're doing here at Networking Today as a movement. And we're looking for leaders to help carry that movement in the vision of what we preach and teach here as far as what the value of networking and business exposure. What we teach and preach here, we're looking for leaders to help lead that movement. And listen, it is not for everybody. It may not be for the guy that I spoke with yesterday. And it may not be for someone who would be on today's call. We just recently had a meeting leader that is going to go in a different direction. And guys, I want you to know, I want you to hear from my heart. It breaks my heart to hear if a meeting leader is not satisfied with Networking Today and they want to go their own direction, just as much as if for your business, let's say whatever widget you sell, someone says to you, yeah, you know, your product wasn't what I was looking for, and they go in a different direction. I decided to buy this vehicle instead of that vehicle, or I decided to buy, you know, send my advertising dollars to this radio station instead of that radio station, your radio station, or your magazine, or, you know, whatever it is that you sell. I take it personally. But you know what? I also have to realize that Networking Today is not for everyone. And so do you, you know. And so you have to be firm in your resolve of what you believe and your convictions and move forward with those things, regardless of what other people believe. But more importantly, we got to realize that we're looking for leaders that believe in what we're doing. And not everyone believes in what we're doing. I met with a a franchisee of BNI the other day. We sat down and had lunch. It was great lunch. We're actually friends. No big deal. But he disagrees with what we're doing here, and that is okay. He believes in what he's doing, and that is awesome as well. Now, one might argue that, you know, you could argue that he believes more in what we're doing than what he's willing to give vocal assent to, you know, because he would obviously have to support his position as the franchisee, having spending, you know, 6 figures on his BNI franchise. So I'm not, you know, questioning his sincerity. I'm only saying that, of course, it would be logical that he would denounce, if you will, what we're doing here, because obviously he bought a BNI franchise. And we're different. We're not categorically exclusive. Anyone can come. We don't have an attendance policy because we treat people like responsible individual adults. We don't have a contract. If someone signs up and they're $25 a month and they don't, you know, show up to your meeting anymore, some of the things that we've talked about here on this call, you know, I've given multiple, just a plethora of examples of people that have come up to me and said, Rich, I've been coming for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and I've not gotten any business out of this. You know, I got to leave. You know, and I say to them, okay, well, you know, you're going to be missed. Adios. Goodbye. Because if someone is not getting $25 a month of value out of my meeting, they should not show up. And so too, think about it as a meeting leader. Think about the people that are coming to your meeting. If they're not getting $25 a month, $5.50, practically speaking, $5.50 worth of value for the 90 minutes they spend at your meeting, then what can we do to improve the value? What can we do to improve the experience that the members are having at your meeting if it is not worth $5? $5 per meeting is practically what people are paying. Are you leading your movement? Are you demonstrating the value of being a part of the movement of Networking Today? And if you have grown disenfranchised, if you've grown discontent, if you've grown to the place where you don't believe in what it is we're doing, we don't offer anything specific or unique or whatever, you don't think our charitable position and all the charity that we do and launching our 501c3, you know, NCI Cares and what we're trying to do with our mobile app and our directory and keeping everybody connected and You don't believe that someone should be able to join on one single $25 membership and be able to go to any Networking Today meeting or connect with any Networking Today member in the universe and have the opportunity to network and expand their business. If you don't believe what we're doing is right, then I would suggest that you find a location that is, or start your own. You have that opportunity. No one is holding you here. No one's holding your members here. But people need to see your passion. They need to see that you believe in the movement of Networking Today. And I hope that you do. I hope you see what we're trying to build here. The lives we're trying to make. The epiphanies that Mark Williams had the other day. That is what we're trying to do. And I hope that you see that. Okay, enough's enough. I'm not going to be on this anymore. But man, I hope that you're embracing that in your Networking Today meeting. And that you're being a leader, and that your members see you as a leader. You might call us a networking army. You could call us a networking political group if you wanted, but we're a networking movement, changing how networking is getting done, lowering the barrier to entry while improving the quality of the networkers in the room. That is what we want to do. And give everyone in the room as much business exposure as possible. I hope you bought into that, and I hope your members buy into that and see that you bleed, that you sweat. When you perspire, I hope they see that dripping out of your pores. You know, that you just love what we're doing at Networking Today. Now, don't forget about the new meeting incentive program, going really, really well, especially those of you that are new on the call. If you know people around the country that would like to start their own meeting, don't forget we do have this new meeting incentive program. I hope that each and every one of you are promoting this during your meeting. You know, you have that few minutes where you're introducing and getting the meeting kicked off. I hope that you're sharing the new meeting incentive program. I also wanted to just remind everybody about the charitable policy at Networking Today. We have had a couple of people sign up that were charities, that we're legitimate charities. Just remember everybody, that to be a charity, we mean the people doing the charitable work. We don't mean the nonprofit corporations like credit unions. There was a massage therapist that I've given this example in the past, but her organization that she was under was a nonprofit. It was a church, but she charged $150 an hour for her massage therapy. So when she was at Networking Today, she was advertising her $150 per hour massages. Well, that's not really what the charitable intent is for. But if you have like a charity like Fostering Hope, Fostering Hope is an organization that helps kids. You have an organization that is actually ministering to people. We've got an organization here in Knoxville called Volunteer Ministry Center. You can check them out at vmcinc.org. So vmcinc.org. And you can see what I'm talking about, but they've helped over 1,000 people get into housing, homeless people get into housing here in the Knoxville area. And that is what our charitable intent is about. Just remember that if we're giving free memberships away, these are not to corporations that are generating revenue. Okay. Just remember that. Okay. I just want to cover that real quick. I want to talk to you real quick about meeting leader support. I'm still getting some emails and some calls, just so everybody just hears this again. We do have the phone number set up for meeting leader support where you can leave a voicemail. You can talk to meeting leader support if somebody, obviously grabs the call. 865-245-9397. Or you can email if you need anything whatsoever, training, something updated, something's not right in the app. I had a brand new member come up to me the other day and said that on our website, a meeting location was incorrectly titled, but in the app, it was correctly titled. And the meeting leader had not brought this to my attention at all. And so if you need any updates whatsoever, a meeting leader change, one of our meeting leaders recently in the last day or so sent me a text and said, hey, what do I need to do to change the meeting leader for a particular location within Networking Today? I took screenshots of it and sent it over to him. Just know, don't forget, there's a little meeting leader support submission button underneath the email address on the Meeting Leader Resources page, where you can order literature if you need literature. You can ask for graphic design work to be done for something. You can get updates to your Facebook. If somebody, let's say a member within your meeting location wants to run your social media for you and you need to get them as editor on the page, no problem whatsoever. Just let us know. You can do all of that on the Meeting Leader Support tab. Just want to remind you guys, especially the newbies that are on the call, that is available for you, okay? The new resources page, one of the things I want to share with you guys, visit the Meeting Leader Resources page on a regular basis, because we're always updating images and things like that. For example, now I'm going to skip that slide just real quick, and that one, let me jump ahead. So those of you that are online can see a screen that I have up here that introduces the all-new NTI Cash Mob. Okay, so we've started doing monthly cash mobs. We call them Cash Mob Mondays. And what we do, the first Monday of every single month, we cash mob a restaurant, or, well, I mean, that's a great one to cash mob. We could do other things as well. We can do, let's say a realtor is going to have an open house. We could, all show up and go through the house and take photos and post it to social media. There's all sorts of a variety of things that you can do. Okay. Maybe a retailer, maybe something like that. Maybe a charity, and we can all cash mob the charity and do a tour or something. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of different ideas that you can do here, but we put this blank version, or what I call the template version, out there on the Meeting Leader Resources page so that you can download it. And if you want to do a cash mob to the businesses that, support you, maybe there's a coffee shop, maybe there's a restaurant that, maybe if all of you in your general area are meeting at a restaurant, all of you in your area, all meetings could rotate around and support the restaurant, and encourage once a month going to the restaurants. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but this image is out there for you to download, and then you can put the logo of the restaurant or wherever you're going to cash mob. And then the green space, see here at the bottom, I've got Monday, March the 4th at 11. And on mine here in Knoxville, we did it Gus's world famous fried chicken. And so all of that is out there for you to, to use. Okay. So I just wanted to just highlight that real quick, that on the new resources that are out there, we're always trying to update that with new Fanzuma images, new PowerPoint images that you can use then to adjust, edit it for your own purposes of your meeting, and then use it. We always want to try to provide you with images and things like that you can use and keep your PowerPoint fresh and that sort of thing. All right, but there's always new resources out there. Now, I want to talk to you guys about meeting leadership. Some of us are great at delegation, and some of us are not great at delegation, okay? There are areas of leadership within your meeting, but here's the thing. If people don't know that you need help, if you're so good at masking that the help that you need, then others are not going to step up and help you. Okay? So look, I realize that most of you are business owners. Most of you have the mindset of get her done. And I love that about you, okay? And I love that about me. I'm not being critical of that. But here's what I'm saying. If you're so good at masking and you're managing it all, and behind the scenes you're doing 10 hours worth of work on your meeting, then and nobody knows you're putting 10 hours into it, then very frequently people they don't know that you need help. And so sometimes you got to ask for help. So like, for example, in my meeting, I've had a business spotlight coordinator pretty much from the beginning. What do I mean by that? Someone simply manages a calendar, and I refer to them in every single meeting. I publicly thank them and bring attention to them and mention their business in every single meeting. Like in mine, it's Janet Polumbi with the Polumbi team and Realty Executives, okay? And I mention their slogan, whether you need to buy or sell a home, make it a Polumbi. I do that in every single meeting, okay, to give them just exposure. Okay, I've also got an inspirational thought leader. And what that means is he's given a 5-second, 10-second, 15-second inspirational quote, like a Zig Ziglar type quote. I've got a visitor host. The guy that does my visitor host is amazing. And we're not even 30 minutes into our meeting, and he's already got all of the visitors' business cards, and he's entered them into the NTI visitor follow-up system. So they're already being touched. They've received the text. They've received the email. They've received how to join and a little bit about Networking Today. Now, for you guys, we tried to customize that. So when you have somebody that comes in and is a visitor, and your visitor host enters them into the visitor follow-up system, they get your phone number as the meeting leader. They get your email address. They get your contact information and mine, so that if they ever need anything, we're here for them, right? But all of these positions are just, you find people say, hey, I could really use some help. They say, well, what all does it consist of? And you tell them each job is very, very simple, doesn't take a whole, if someone's doing all of it, then it obviously would take a lot of time. Now, I just want to point out that I do my own Fanzuma broadcast, because all of you that have ever received my weekly update that I send out to my group, I have a section called My 2 Cents, okay? And I write something in there. I put my heart in there. Now, not everybody reads that, and that's fine. They don't have to. It doesn't matter to me. But those that are reading it, they're getting something of value beyond just, hey, don't forget to come this Thursday. Hey, don't forget to come this Thursday. Because that doesn't help anybody. You need to write something of value in there that they can read and learn from and that sort of thing. But when you talk about meeting leadership, specifically the Business Spotlight Coordinator, the one thing I wanted to point out to everybody is that is a position that I don't touch, okay? So let me explain what I mean by that. Janet Palumbi runs our Business Spotlight Coordinator. If somebody wants on the calendar, they go to see Janet. They do not come to see me. If you live in an area where there are multiple Networking Today meetings, for example, any Networking Today member, whether they're a regular at your meeting or not, can show up and be the Spotlight Coordinator, because we are one big family. They need to be a regular somewhere, of course, but they're allowed to come and present and get on the calendar to present at your meeting. That's how we do it here. But it is at the discretion of your Business Spotlight Coordinator. And I have never, one time I overrode the decision of the Business Spotlight Coordinator and said, hey, we need to let this person speak, because she wasn't going to let this person speak. And I overrode it, and the person ended up speaking, and it was no big deal. So ultimately, you're the, networking, God, if you will, no sacrilegious, intention, but, you are the boss of your meeting, okay? But when it comes to the Spotlight Coordinator position, you need to give them the power to make those decisions and empower them to make those decisions. So if the Business Spotlight Coordinator for your meeting says that someone is not allowed to speak at your meeting, find out why. It is okay to ask them, hey, why are you not letting Tom Jones speak? And if your Spotlight Coordinator does not have a good reason, well then, say, hey, I'm going to override that. I'm going to let Tom Jones go ahead and speak. Please get them on the calendar. But your Spotlight Coordinator may have a really good reason as to why that Tom Jones should not speak at your meeting. And so give them the power, the autonomy to make that decision, guys. And no one else has the right to run your spot. You run that Spotlight Coordinator position with your BS coordinator. And you get to make all the decisions when it comes to that, okay? So I just want to labor on that for a minute and make sure that you're still in control, okay? Don't let them forget that you're the boss. You are the boss of your meeting. But furthermore, so your inspirational quote guy or gal, if your inspirational quoter is going long-winded, speaking for 5 minutes, you got to nip that in the butt and reduce it down to like 30 seconds. You know, you can't let them ramble on for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's not an educational moment. It's an inspirational thought. And so you want to bring it down to like, you know, something like never run with scissors kind of a thing. You know, you make it quick and easy and like a meme, you know, that very quick one sentence inspiration. And that's what you want that to be. And then your visitor host, make sure that your visitor host is doing things properly. But then you shouldn't have to touch it after that. Train them to greet people properly at the front door, to show the visitor host card. Some of you are not using your visitor host cards. We spend lots of money on those visitor host cards so that you can use them and put them in the hands of visitors that are coming to your meeting so that they know the flow of the meeting and they know how to join, okay? And the cost and everything is right there on that little flyer. There's no questions about it. Anyway, I just wanted to touch that real quick on meeting leadership because you need to delegate. If you're not delegating to the other people in the room and really running that meeting and getting help, then you're going to wear yourself out. And I just want to encourage you guys not to do that because you'll hit burnout very, very quick. So make sure that you're getting help from everybody else in the room. All right. So just so you know, many of you are wondering, Rich, what in the world happened with the $2,000 from the Visitor Day contest? Don't worry, it's coming. So the $2,000 in $2,019 in total cash to be given away, it will be given away. The results are to be announced on March the 15th, and Visa gift cards will go out to all the winners. Please remember that one of the rules was that the members had to still be members on March the 1st. So we're running all those numbers. We've ran an Excel spreadsheet, getting all the numbers, compiling all the numbers, seeing who percentage-wise increased the most. And it takes just a little bit of effort. But we had to wait until March the 1st to make sure that all those members were still members as of March the 1st. So don't worry. It's going to be announced here coming up March the 15th. It's going to be grandiose. We hit goal and exceeded goal. And I'm so proud of each and every one of us on the call. And it's going to be a lot of fun to give away this $2,000, which, by the way, I don't know of any other networking meeting that has given away $2,000 for 6 weeks of effort. So that's another great thing about Networking Today that we do that I've never seen a BNI chapter do ever. The Cash Mob, never seen them do that either. By the way, make sure to do that later. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to unmute all the lines and I'm going to invite Anna Alt to come on the line. Anna, are you there?
I am.
Wonderful. Thank you for enduring my rambles as I covered some things here. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to mute and control some of the lines here for you. But the floor is yours. Everybody, just so you know, this is Anna Alt. She runs our O'Fallon chapter and is knocking it absolutely out of the park. And Anna, I'm so excited to have you on today's call for our meeting leader moment. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Rich. I appreciate that. So I don't really know how you want me to just start talking. If you want to ask me questions, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Something that you just said about getting people to help you in your group. I always say jokingly, but in all seriousness, it takes a village to raise me, and I am constantly delegating things in my life, whether it's personally or professionally. I definitely look at O'Fallon and TI. It's a little village that, it takes a village to run our meeting. That's one of the reasons why our group is so successful. I look to my visitor host leader. He is a friend of mine. We talk quite often. My business spot coordinator. She handles all of our business spotlights. I don't really even do anything with that. So when people ask me why this group is succeeding, or I guess more specifically, what are you doing, Anna, to make this group succeed? First of all, I do not like compliments. It makes me very uncomfortable. So I will generally always push that away. And I truly believe it's my group is the reason why we are growing so fast, and we are busting at the seams every single time because of our group. So
hey, Anna,
I want to start with that.
Anna, if you don't mind, I'd love to chime in just a little bit here, because I hope everyone on today's call is really tuned in to what Anna just said. I think what you just shared is gold, that you hate to take credit for it. And then you didn't just leave it there. You went on to say it's because of the group, right? And you and I talked a little bit about that. And could you talk a little bit, Anna, about how do I want to ask this question? How do you show appreciation to your group? Do you just say something verbally? How do you show that appreciation and give recognition to the group for the success of your meeting location?
Well, because I don't like compliments, you would think that I don't give good compliments. I am a very complimentary person. I love to tell people when they look pretty or if they've done something amazing. I give really good compliments. So the short answer is I tell people all the time. But if we're talking just specifically about NTI, our messenger group, it's not just me, but I will say, we all rock, like, good job. We had, however many people joined this past week. Good job, guys. Yes, I give verbal compliments often.
That's awesome. And when we were talking the other day, one of the things that we were talking about is treating people with respect and, individual responsibility and things like that, and not browbeating people and things like that. That some of the things that you do at your meeting are very unique. And I think having fun at the meeting was one of the things that you said. And I'm trying to convey that to the rest of the meeting leadership, the value of having a good time and making your meeting fun. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Well, yes, our meeting is not very businesslike. In a good way. I do not like to talk about business. One of my most hated things is going into a networking group and somebody comes up to me and says, "Hi, what do you do for a living? Who can I introduce you to?" I immediately clam up in situations like that, because I truly believe you do business with people you know, like, and trust. And you do not you can't know, like, and trust somebody if all you talk about is business.
Right.
So our group, although I do really strive to follow the NTI, how everything is set up by you guys, because I like to get out of there at 10:30. I like to be done in an hour and a half. Our group is so easygoing. If somebody goes over a little bit in their elevator speech, or if somebody is having a really good business spotlight, I am not a stickler. I don't like rules. That's why I liked NTI in the beginning, because BNI or any of these other groups that have very, very hard, fast rules, I do not like for personal reasons. And so I run my group pretty easygoing. It's very lax. And we laugh, and one gentleman stands up on a chair for his elevator speech every time. It's just kind of, it's fun. People like to come. It's a good time. It's a good way to start a Friday.
You know what? And the same thing happens at my meeting. And some people have watched the full-length video of my meeting that's out on the Meeting Leader Resources page, and some haven't. In fact, probably most haven't. It's out there for anyone that wanted to, go watch it. But Anna, once the camera got turned on, some people started acting kind of goofy, But my point is, you would be able to see the energy and the fun that we're having. And I love what you just said, that, if people are going to do business with people they like, know, and trust, then if you're making it so rigid and all about business, and then you cannot focus or say you're focused on the relationship if all you're doing is focusing on business. There's no way to do that.
Correct. And before today's meeting, I sent a message to my group, and I said, the question's going to be, do your members think you're a good leader? And because I don't like compliments. So this is hard for me, but I'm gonna give you some of the things that people said. Heck yeah, the best leader. Absolutely, your presence and professionalism is without a doubt the foundation of the group. The energy and caring attitude is a big reason the group has grown so fast. Someone said you are a take charge kind of person. When you say it'll be done, it will be done. Always helpful, great business advice. Somebody said your ability to let people have fun, keep it moving, and show respect for and interest in everyone. Someone said you are selfless and continuously push us to be our best and show up at our best the way business people should. And then this was my favorite. You also know how to tame the group down when one or two of us gets out of control. So my background is I was a teacher. That's my background. And and we talked about this, Rich, you and I, last time we talked. Humans like rules. They like to know the expectations. I told you that my house has a lot of rules, but every afternoon my house is filled with the entire kids in the neighborhood, because even though I have rules that other parents might not have, I explain those rules and the kids know expectations. Humans want expectations, and I expect people to be kind to one another, but to also have fun. And I can only think that's why our group is doing so well, because of the expectations that are set.
So Anna, if you don't mind, I mean, you've said so many golden nuggets in there that I'd love you to expand on. Obviously, I mean, I could talk to you about this for an hour or two, like we did the other day. But so I'm like you. I mean, I feel like I am. My house is the same way. You know, I've got 4 kids. They range from 21 down to 8. My rules are clear. And, you know, in my meeting, I picked up the name dictator. You know, people call me the dictator, but they, you know, but I mean, I think they say it with love. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think they say it with love. You know, we have 60, 70 people a week, you know, so I mean, I think they mean it in love. But what I'm saying is, you know, how do you do that? How do you rule? I got to be careful how I say this. How do you rule with an iron fist? How do you tame them, you know, and lay those rules out, but yet have fun with it at the same time? How do you do that?
Well, I get my teacher voice, as they all call it. They say, oh, here comes Anna, the teacher.
The teacher voice, yeah.
Because I show up with love first, and then, well, see, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
You just do it.
I just do it. And I guess from the get-go, I made those clear-cut lines in the sand. And then I guess maybe it's not even maybe. I know in the beginning I kind of scared a few people. And I
yes.
be bossy. But when they get to know me as a person, the bossiness, I guess maybe is, they deal with it better, because even though I'm bossy, I am nice at the same time.
So, guys, you know, those of you that are tuning into this, you know, again, this is another, and I really believe this is a conversation that needs to be cut out and also put on the Meeting Leader Resources page, because what you're sharing is a balance. It's a balance, but you know, look, if you don't have children, then, or maybe you do have kids and you don't parent this way. But for me, in my house, the way that I do it is I love you. And because I love you, I want to have fun and I want to do this. And I also want to get out of here on time and we want to do this. But in order to do all of that, then these things have to happen. And so what you mentioned is that structure. So at Networking Today, we want to give our meeting leaders the autonomy to run your meeting the way that you want to run it. But we also provide the structure so that your meeting can have a structured flow. And I think that's one of the magic, you know, that's some of the magic pixie dust that makes Networking Today work, is the fact that we don't have all those rules, but at the same time, we give the meeting structure so that people can operate within those boundaries, right?
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. I like having the set of stuff that you guys provide, because it just makes it easier for me.
Right.
But I do feel like I can kind of run my meeting the way I want to in the confines of what you guys have set up, because I mean, you've said this multiple times. It works because it works. I will say, I was thinking about, I don't know what you said that made me think about this, but people appreciate my honesty. If somebody has a booger in their nose, I'm going to tell them that they have a booger in their nose. Because I would want somebody to tell that to me. I would want somebody to be honest with me. And even if it's hard for me to take, I don't know if you guys know Joseph Luckett. He and I are good friends, and he and I give each other very good back and forth information. The other day he gave me a hard pill to swallow, and I took it, and I told him, after he told me, I said, you're going to have to give me a minute to digest this, because I don't like, not only do I not like compliments, I also don't like to be told when I'm wrong. So it took me a minute, but then after I was able to digest it, and I told him later, I said, thank you so much for telling me, because I did, even though I didn't really want to hear it, I needed to hear it. And I think that if people can do that, if a good leader can take advice, if a leader can take advice from somebody, good advice, then they're going to be a good leader.
And that good advice, Anna, can sometimes be, hey, you got a booger hanging out of your nose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and by the way, you know what? I also think, Anna, and I'd love to get your feedback on this. When someone says that you're doing something wrong, it's okay as a leader to sit back for a moment, meditate on it, think about it, evaluate whether you agree with that analysis or not, and then come forward as a leader. Look, I've mentioned my 4 kids lots of times. There's times my 4 kids think that dad's making the wrong decision. And I allow I give my kids the liberty to say, hey, Dad, I think, why? There's parents that don't allow their kids to ask why, just do what I say. But I've never been that way. I want my kids to ask why. And then sometimes they've been right. And other times I've had to hold my ground. I've had to say, no, actually, I do think this is the right decision. And like on 2 weeks ago, call, I had to remain firm about something that I believed was going on. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
you got to be able to kind of go both ways, don't you think?
100%.
So Anna, and just a final thought here, maybe you've got a final suggestion or a final thought that you want to leave, maybe especially for the person that is struggling to build their meeting, right? Some people are on today's call and they're like, I can't get past 6 members. I can't get past 8 members. Or maybe they're running their meeting and people aren't coming back. Maybe they're struggling with having it be fun. What would be a final thought that you would share with that new meeting leader or the existing meeting leader that's struggling? What would you say to them?
So I would say for the first 6 months, I took over this chapter back in, I don't know, I think April or May. So just under a year. And for the first 6 months, we only had 6 people at each meeting. And, I would be lying if I said that it kind of like didn't get to me, because it did a little bit. But I am a firm believer in being a chameleon and being able to fit to any environment and fake it till you make it. You have to, I never once let anyone know that maybe it did upset me that we didn't have any new visitors, that we didn't have any new members. You fake it till you make it. And then that feeling of, it's okay, for it, even though you might be upset, don't let anyone know that. Not that don't let anyone know, but don't let, as you're standing up, be bumming and say, guys, we don't have any visitors. We need to bring visitors. Be happy. Be like, you know what? Whatever. They're going to know. Eventually, they're going to see how great this these 6 people are, and we're going to have 20 people. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah. I love that. Anything else? I mean, yeah. Okay. Anything else that you want to share? The floor is yours. I don't want to interrupt. If you're done, we'll get ready to close it out. But this is gold.
I don't think I have
this is absolute
else.
Gold.
Thank you. I don't think I have anything else. Have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take your group too seriously. Don't take your life too seriously. Because you could die tomorrow and you wouldn't have had fun the last day on earth.
I'll tell you, Anna, thank you so very much. I'm going to go ahead and just mute all the lines, and then we'll unmute again at the end for any comments or questions. And Anna, if you can stick around for a few minutes, if you got to go, I understand, but if you can stick around, some people may even want to ask you a question at the end of the call. So
I can add just a little. It's 12:23. I have another meeting at 12:45, but I could stick around for a minute.
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and mute all the lines, and then guys, listen. Oh my goodness, can you hear it? If you're on this call and you're a meeting leader, listen to me just for a moment. Even if Networking Today is not the organization for you, let's say that you conclude in your mind. I mean, if you're psychotic enough, if you're crazy enough to say that Networking Today is not the perfect place for you. I mean, let's just hypothetically say that you said something crazy like that. Just joking. Those of you that think I'm just joking. But you have to lead with this kind of energy. I mean, Anna, thank you, because that's the position I took when I first started. I have never, ever cared if we had 6 people or 106 people. It didn't bother me, and I didn't change how I was acting toward everybody in the room. Some people resist. Some people push back on that idea of faking it until you make it. What I love and what I hope everybody heard, because and listen, I'm not trying to split hairs on what Anna said here at all. I'm not. But guys, if you know Anna, or if you get to know Anna, take the second to send her a text, send her an email. She's in the directory, and say, would you mind if I schedule some time with you? Get to know Anna a little bit, because here's the thing. She wasn't faking it when she had 6 members. I know what she meant. She meant, she was having fun, and she knew one day in her head she'd be at 20, 30, 40 members, and that's great. And she saw that day coming, but she appreciated the moment as well. She appreciated the 6 that were there. She appreciated the dozen that were there. I have never, people will see photos of my meeting on Facebook, and they will send me text messages. They're counting the number of people in my meeting from a Facebook photo. They'll text me and say, Rich, it looks like your meeting's a little low on numbers. And I'm like, what? First of all, I don't care. I just care about the people that showed up. And what Anna is saying, I mean, I'm not trying to re-preach your message, Anna, at all, but my goodness, this is an excellent idea. What Mark shared a few weeks ago, what Anna is sharing today, and what Tara and Missy and others have shared, Marianne has shared on our calls. These are little nuggets of gold that if you run your meeting this way, you will be successful. You will be wildly successful. And the work that you're doing in the community will be well received if you can do it. And Anna said it, she gives structure, but has fun within that structure, right? She wants everybody to know the parameters of the meeting, and then they can have a blast within the parameters of the meeting. And when it gets out of control, she knows how to tame the meeting by saying, hey, hold on, let's bring it back in. And sometimes I have to do that as well, but that's what good leaders do. Man, thank you so much. And you guys, listen, when I talked to Anna, you know what Anna said to me? She said, oh, Rich, I don't know. What do I have to offer? She said, and you guys can ask her if you want to. She said, I don't know what I can offer to all the other meeting leaders across the country, but did you hear some of the great tips and amazing things that she said? about how she's running her meeting. It is gold, and I hope that all of you walk away with a newfound vision of what your meeting could be. I believe you'll love it. I really do believe you'll love it. Okay, knowledge is power. I like to recommend books each and every week. I've been recommending for weeks now. I've been recommending The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster from Darren Hardy. Excellent, excellent, excellent book. Please read that. But today I'm recommending a book series. Now, I've recommended The Go-Giver in times past, a little story about a powerful business idea, The Go-Giver. Listen. If you turn me off so far, please listen to this. The Go-Giver will change your life. It will not just change your networking meeting. It will not just change your business. It will change your life. But there are two other books in this series, maybe even more that they've written since, but the Go-Giver Leader Edition, the Go-Giver Leader. You want to be a leader? You want to be a giver? You want to be a great leader? Read the Go-Giver for Leaders. It's huge. So good. And then Go-Givers Sell More. Oh my goodness, such a great series. It will fill you with power, and knowledge is indeed power, and you need this knowledge. You do. You got to be a go-giver, people. You got to be a go-giver. All right, moving right along. Our next call, and I'm about to unmute the line. Just want to make sure that you put this call in your calendar. If you don't put the call in your calendar, you know what you can do? You could put the reminder in your calendar of when you're going to listen to the call. It's only 60 minutes, but it's jam-packed with great stuff, and I hope you'll mark your calendar. March 19th is our next meeting. Please confirm that all your information on the app, on the website, and social media is correct so that we can make sure that people looking to find your meeting know when, where, and how to find you. Do that. Guys, look, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Those of you who want to stick around, maybe some of you have questions. I just want to say thank you. Thank every one of you that are leading your meetings, that are pulling forth with the vision that we're trying to build here at Networking Today. I love you guys, and I thank you for it, and you're making a difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording here, and then I'm going to unmute all the lines. So go ahead and unmute all the lines.